Well, it looks like the Blade solo film has been canceled, but I actually think this is good news. And it's canceled for now, is what I will say, because I do believe later on down the road we are going to get a solo Blade movie with Mahershala Ali. But according to these recent reports, Marvel Studios is not moving forward, at least not yet, with the Blade film. And so far, they have officially canceled it. Now, this is coming from the N. Snyder, so Jeff Snyder on the Hot Mic podcast, who stated the Blade solo movie is no longer happening. They'll revisit this, I believe, but their plan for Blade now, I actually think is better because we have just so much coming up in the MCU with the X-Men, with a new Avengers team. Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, has already said that yes, the MCU, our universe that we've known for all of these years, for over a decade, that universe is going to reset. It is. It's going to be a soft reset, right? Not everything's going to go away, but it is going to reset. So we're going to get a new universe with new characters, and he did confirm they're going to recast Iron Man. They're going to recast Captain America. Eventually, they are going to recast, I would say, a good majority of these OG characters. I think some are going to survive, like Thor. I think he could survive in the MCU and kind of take the place of Odin, get rid of the name Thor and just call him the Allfather, and get a new Thor variant in there who takes the new Thor place. I think Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to survive it until we get Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen, and maybe even a new Spider-Man, maybe a new Peter Parker. But one thing that we haven't actually had in the MCU yet, at least not to a great extent in an official team capacity, is the Midnight Suns. The supernatural side of the MCU is something that Kevin Feige has said that we're going to deeply explore in the MCU. Now, we were meant to explore that in the Multiverse Saga, but things drastically changed for the Multiverse Saga, as most people know. It originally was supposed to be Kang. And there's a lot of hype right now with Doom and the X-Men returning, and I love it, but I still was really looking forward to seeing what they were going to do with Kang. Maybe they'll revisit that one day, who knows, but obviously with the switch from Kang to Doom, a lot of things changed. But we did get some projects like Werewolf by Night, Agatha All Along. We did get, projects like that. And Moon Knight, there were some darker sides. But now we're going to get an official team in the MCU, because that is the second part of Jeff Snyder's report, that the Blade solo movie is no longer happening. The character will instead appear in the Midnight Suns project. And we've heard a lot about this project. Marvel Studios, for a while, was actively developing this project. They were supposed to shoot Blade and the Midnight Suns at the same time. The original plan for Blade was for him to kind of be the Nick Fury of the supernatural Avengers, right? Putting together an Avengers type team, which of course is the Midnight Suns. And he was going to gather the people to fight a villain. Now, who is that villain? We know who that villain is. It's Mephisto. They revealed Mephisto, played by Sacha Baron Cohen, perfect casting, in Ironheart. He was amazing. I think he is literally just perfect for that role. He is coming. That is a part that they are not changing. We've heard many reports about that. Mephisto is going to survive the reboot. He's going to go on to actually become a big bad of the MCU. Doctor Strange is also going to go up against him. And I really would hope, if we get either it's the same Doom, Robert Downey Jr. in the reboot, or a new one, they do some stuff with Mephisto and Doom because of his mother and going into the Hell Dimension, and Doom and Strange working together to go to the Hell Dimension to fight Mephisto. That's something I have to see. But the main point of that is Mephisto is going to be a major villain, and he's going to be the big bad of the Midnight Suns, which apparently now is Marvel's #1 priority for the supernatural side. So that's where Blade is going to make his MCU debut. Blade is not canceled for the MCU debut, right? He's still going to debut, but the movie is going to be, I would say, postponed, because I think they do the Midnight Suns, and then I think eventually they do a Blade film, depending on how the Midnight Suns performs. If it doesn't perform at all and people don't care, then they might reconsider. But this is cool because I like going into it right away with Ghost Rider, and maybe Moon Knight's going to be a part of it, right? Werewolf by Night. We're going to get these things. We're going to get these people. And I think it's going to lead to something really cool. And Doctor Strange. So originally we actually heard reports that they were going to adapt some crazy cool comic storylines, like Mephisto taking over Las Vegas. That's one that I would really like to see. And Mephisto turning some of the Avengers into Ghost Rider and having them fight for him We heard reports that there was going to be something similar like that happening where Mephisto basically takes over a city or takes over the world. And if you think about how it was set up in Ironheart, he's already started to do that. He said, you know, the top 100 richest people, how many made a deal with him? All 100. So he's already planted himself in all areas of the world. Very powerful people rely on him. He controls them basically. So he's already started to do that. They've already set the groundwork for Blade to come and fight Mephisto. Now he's going to have a team with him, which I think is awesome because we're going to get Ghost Rider. I think the Punisher should be a part of that team. I think it's a stretch, but it would be really cool to see Wolverine be a part of that team as well. But I also think this is a really good strategy because they clearly were not figuring out what they wanted to do with Blade. I mean, it was supposed to be one of the first projects for the multiverse saga, right? It was one of the first ones announced. They had a lot of trouble with it, with writers, with directors, and it's been years now. It's been going on for years, and they just haven't figured out how to crack it. And I appreciate the fact that they postponed it and postponed it and postponed it because they couldn't figure it out because they wanted to actually make a great movie. I really do appreciate that. But I think we finally got to that point to where they're like, you know what? We really want to do the Midnight Suns because they clearly have plans for other characters like Ghost Rider. We've been hearing a lot of rumors about Ghost Rider, a lot of reports from insiders saying that he's going to be a main character in the next saga of the MCU. He's going to make it might not be the main one of the next chapter of the MCU, but we're going to get Ghost Rider appearances in Doomsday and Secret Wars. We've heard there's going to be a Ghost Rider cameo in Doomsday, and we've heard Nicolas Cage might appear as Ghost Rider in Secret Wars. So we're going to get a little taste of Ghost Rider, and then going into the next part of the MCU, we're going to get the X-Men, the new Avengers team, and the Midnight Suns. Also, not the supernatural, also the cosmic side of the MCU. That's going to be a big part as well, which I'm looking forward to. But the supernatural side of the MCU is so amazingly cool to me. And the fact that they want to do the Midnight Suns movie, and it seems like Blade was delaying that, and they made a decision to kind of just, hey, let's move on and put Blade in the Midnight Suns and just do that team, because that's what we need to do. That's really exciting to me. And I'm happy with this decision because I don't think Marvel Studios was really finding what they needed to do with Blade. And that's where this decision obviously would come from. Hey, we can't crack it, but we got to get the Midnight Suns in the MCU. They teased the Midnight Suns in the Eternals. They teased Blade being that Nick Fury in the Eternals. Dane Whitman, he appeared to him. We didn't see him, but we heard Mahershala Ali's voice. That was him recruiting people. So they had already started to do that. They're just going to continue with it, but it might be a quick little thing in the beginning of the movie, right? It still could be Blade kind of taking on that leadership Nick Fury role. And I still do believe it's Mahershala Ali. I don't think he's backed out of the project yet. We haven't heard anything about that. And he's going to just debut in the Midnight Sun. So it still could be him, but we did hear some reports. We've been hearing a lot of reports over the years, but over the recent months, we've been hearing reports that it's actually Ghost Rider that's going to be the leader of the Midnight Suns. And that kind of makes sense if you consider his backstory and you consider the connection to Mephisto, because he is going to be the big bad villain of the supernatural side. So it makes sense. Maybe Agatha joins the team, Frank Castle, the Punisher, Moon Knight. That would be super, super cool. A Deadpool and Wolverine appearance or just putting them on the team, I think would be really, really cool. But Doctor Strange, maybe Wong. There's a lot of potential here. And I actually really do like the fact that Marvel Studios is just going to move on to the Midnight Suns because they can't crack Blade. I'm excited for the Midnight Suns. I think they have that story down. I think that's why they're like, hey, let's cancel Blade. Midnight Suns is perfect. We already know what we want to do, right? We know what we want to do. Blade can live for a very long time, right? You can go back and talk about his origin and it's a completely new thing. Or you can just do new stories about Blade in the MCU. It's not the end of a solo Blade movie. I don't believe so, at least. It is the start of his debut with the Midnight Suns, which I'm really excited for. But I think eventually if they do well, Blade gets his own movie. Same thing with Ghost Rider. You know, I think it'd actually be pretty cool to get a Mephisto movie, right? But we'll see. But overall, I do think this is good. And I am excited for the Midnight Suns. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you like this? Do you not like it? Why do you think they just couldn't nail the Blade movie? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest news from Marvel. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and TikTok. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.